as y'all know, we love to start the show with a bit of like an icebreaker, and no better icebreaker than in current news. I guess it'd be fitting to share this and kind of talk through it. In current pop culture news, Diddy, often maybe not affectionately called the Diddler, has been arrested by the feds. He has been held, no bond. Yeah, I think they denied his bond twice, according to the Shade Room. Another black man, another powerful black man in jail. Is this a conspiracy? Is this something that is pretty much the chickens coming home to roost? Thousands of bottles of lubricants. What's your thoughts, fellas?
Did he do it fluid? 1,000 bottles of Did he do it fluid?
Money,
man. Like you said, Q, another powerful black man in jail, man. You hate to see it. The list goes on. We gotta move more carefully out there. Like, first off, y'all gotta say what he did to Cassie was wrong.
Okay.
Thank you.
We need to get out there, and anyone that's victims or anything like that, of course, nobody thinks that anyone should be able to get away with that. Is that a RICO?
It's a freako.
Like a lot of the stuff that they talked about with coercing adults.
I think they got him for racketeering, not the RICO, right?
That's what racketeering.
I think it's a lot of it kind of like bubbles in together.
That's the R in RICO is racketeering. A criminal organization. So they're talking about all the money that he made from that since 2009. They're trying to take that.
So I guess what I gathered was that they got the guns with the scratched off, like, I guess, what is it, the ARs with the scratched off serial numbers. They have him for racketeering, sex trafficking. They got the videos of the freak offs in which I guess they were saying that he was using that as leverage over people to get them to do things for him, and the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
Man, I think the sex trafficking is really the main kind of pillar for everything. Because the alleged sex trafficking is what makes this like an organized crime thing over everything else. And I feel like the other stuff is more like icing on the cake. If you are really allegedly shipping but like on the payroll, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of crazy because it's like we assume rich people have girls on payroll, right?
No.
It's like we assume that like that's the thing, escorts, all that type of stuff. But they got him basically saying like he's like they must got his cash apps or something. I don't know. They got saying he paying for services, shipping them across state and international lines. And once you start doing stuff like that, it's tough. Like, and the Fed, they got what's their conviction rate? It's like
95%.
Crazy.
But shipping is much different than like just tripping or like sending flying chicks versus stuffing them in the 18-wheeler.
Exactly.
Like, these people know what they were doing. This nigga's party has been legendary all their life. Like, all of a sudden, all of this shit is dastardly. The nigga got guns. He got X. Everybody was so scared of him. Like, he's a.
But that is kind of like the history of what the story of Diddy is, though. He is the guy that, I guess, he punches every hot rapper, hangs Wale over the over the balcony,
blew up Cuddy's car. Like, yo, these are wild.
He do have some legendary stories out there.
Yeah, that's a wild one. The car is wild.
He rapping about the shit. He gotta let him know.
Allegedly.
I guess what is it that he done killed somebody and they sent the cleanup. Well, I guess they also said that he has a whole staff that cleans up before and after the what is it called, the freak offs. But I guess he also has like the murder cleanup crew. I don't know. They said
nobody said he murdered or killed anybody, bro. Let's not do that.
My bad. I guess what did he? I don't know if he murdered or he shot the person in the studio.
Arson is a definite charge.
And then they said that he cleaned it up and he paid it was some whole shit inside LA. That was a part of like a charge.
No, part of this, what he's being charged with now is there's a murder in there because I haven't. This is the first
I don't
about a murder.
Again, I can retract that word murder as much as shot. I know that it said that he shot somebody in the studio, and they covered it up and they cleaned it up and like that whole thing. I wouldn't go as far as murder. That's my bet.
And they got him on kidnapping too. So it's like, I feel what you're saying, Black, in terms of like people knowing that they there, but these folks were allegedly kidnapped, meaning against their will, or held somewhere against their will and couldn't leave. Thing. Yeah, technically kidnapping is you can't leave.
So my thing is, are they finding out all of this shit at one time, or are they been collecting shit? And if they have been collecting stuff and he's doing serious stuff like that, why didn't they act on it then? Like all of a sudden, this nigga's a super villain. You know, he got freak offs. You can't leave. He'll kill you. He got X. Like, he got guns with the serial number. Like, shit is just with 0 to 100. And it's like, yeah, the nigga nasty. He did some shit, and we've been known that as a culture. We know them parties. Like, but now it's on some like, oh, he's some super criminal organization. Like, no, he's paying known sex workers. They're flying from Miami to New York to Cali or wherever he is. To contribute to the party of the freak offs, because you got to have the girls that's already down, that's already paid for, and then you got other people that's joining in. But now in this era of like shame and like and all of this shit, it's like nobody was there. This nigga was by himself. So I don't know. It's like that it's no way he can go down without a lot more people being exposed.
Somebody else, yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Like Nicky
Somebody else got to go down, yeah.
Who's at the freak offs?
Everybody at the freak off. Everybody's at the freak
so
off.
I guess this can lend to almost like a this wouldn't specifically be the segue into the topic, but the freak offs, right? Would this be almost confirmation of what they like to call, quote unquote, the Illuminati? And wouldn't it be interesting to see who would be in these eyes wide shut party or things in which they're leveraging, and it's almost not adjacent, but it mirrors the concept of Epstein and the idea of like getting people to do XYZ, recording them and holding it as leverage. Thoughts?
That's a good point.
Orgies have been going on since like Greeks and Romans, and like people do like freak shit, like they swinger parties and you know, like nasty shit. That's why I feel like the culture be hypocritical sometimes. Like what they get prude about, because we'll boost rappers and you know the girl rappers will say the nastiest shit that they do, but then you hear like, oh, people are having sex together in a room, like they're all crazy. Like these people know what the fuck they was doing. Like everybody was getting paid, and now it's like, all right, now we can switch it and say we was forced, we was coerced, we was manipulated. But I think a lot of people are like just jumping in because it's like he easy to kick right now. Some people had a valid shit.
Exactly.
But we seen a nigga on the band, like none of this shit is shocking. We know he's the aggressive dude. He get what he want. Yeah, that's the shit we love about Diddy. But the whole abusive stuff, now you can kind of flip that in this picture. We don't know what to do, but you know, it's looking crazy with the FBI shit. So we'll see. I think they really just want to get this nigga money after suing that liquor company.
Right, exactly.
You know, he was out here, he was talking about being black owned, all this kind of like pseudo black power shit. You know, he was going back and forth, but he was starting to talk that talk. And then right after he sued that shit, all this shit just starts flooding out. But that's what's odd to me is like, bro, like it can be a hit and he can be a freak at the same time. Like, why we can't go?
That's my thing. Like, what does like the Diddy do it flu? That's funny, but like, what does that have to do with any like criminal organization or criminal like charges? It's like you're just doing that just to like almost embarrass and humiliate the man. It's
like baby oil ain't a crime. Neither is
yeah, like why do we?
I think that if I was to try to answer it, it would be it is the culmination of like the entire operation all moving together, I imagine. And then when you also incorporate the idea of physical abuse and harm within it, and then you put on top of that the idea of just kind of the strong arm that he kind of operates within the music industry in general. That you have like the trail of artists and producers and interviews from kind of wherever you want to go, down to the guy, I guess the person that shot Tupac said that Diddy did the whole Hitman. So it's kind of like this trail of Diddy operating above the law, or with the law, or with whoever you kind of like, might want to say. But I think that the freak offs is just like a piece of the pie to it.
Right.
That is kind of like the Jeffrey Epstein piece, where it's the thought of using these tapes, not necessarily the actual action of the freak off, but I guess the tapes as blackmail and leverage because of the people aren't knowing that they're getting recorded. That's my understanding of it.
And he would allegedly drug people.
Oh yeah, and it's the drugging part.
According to the what they filed, they're saying that not only did he host these events, he intentionally drugged people to make them more obedient and things of that nature, and would make girls sleep with male prostitutes to the point where he had these girls on IVs the next morning. He had IVs on deck because they was getting wore out so crazy. So it's like, bro, like,
but then I also guess they said that he would get violent if you didn't do what he said in the freak offs. I don't know. I imagine maybe the videos would let us know.
I mean, you saw what happened to Cassie in the hallway. So what's happening behind a closed door? Like, that's kind of my thing. Is like this, like all of what we're saying is true, but it's like it's a shame that it has to be said given this guy's circumstances. Like, this is not like the time to be like we're under attack. Like, this nigga's a predator. Like, no, like he's a predatory business person. He's a predatory in every single way. It's like he found ways to be successful, build all these different brands, and become one of the first like billionaires in hip hop, right? And so like that's that. But if you take that away, there's not much to be like that proud of if we're just looking at the character and what he's been representing, from both how he treats even his own artists to these other allegations that date all the way back to the Kim Porter days at that. So it's just like, yeah, it's just a shame that this is the platform where we have to, as black men, try to like make our case as to why we getting attacked.
No. Don't do no ass black man, bro. Like, that don't have what Diddy did. Don't have nothing to do.
Yes, what y'all talking about? No. So did I miss something?
Nah, because I just don't like when we talk about Diddy and then we talk about from a case as black men. We have to make.
But did I miss? Hold up. Did I miss something? Was that case not being made? I just want to know, because if I misheard, and I'm going to apologize. But I could have sworn the case was being made that like this is also has to do with the fact that a black man. Did I miss that completely, or am I hearing something?
I wouldn't say you missed it, but I would say the way you characterize it is like nobody. We started off by saying nobody thinks that what Diddy did wasn't. Like, no one agrees with that. We all know that he's wrong, and I think like we should be able to. Like, you shouldn't be shamed for being analytical about this. And we also should be able to look at the bigger picture. And then that's like the topic tonight, like being woke. And if you look at like the RICO charge, is Diddy Al Capone? No, we're not saying what he did was right, but to use the law to use for Al Capone to go after Diddy, sees another black moguls, all of their resources between him, the Bill Cosby, Russell Simmons.
Russell living pretty good in Bali, from what I understand. I don't think he's lumped in here. I think Russell was out of here.
Not his assets though, like his image and his legacy, that what could have been. Like same with like Michael Jackson, Sam Cooke, Prince, Nipsey Hussle, Dolph, Tory Lanez. Like all these people were trying to go independent, and it seems like they all fall down. So we're not defending Diddy, but when we look at the RICO and we look at the Mann Act, which that was invented to go against Jack Johnson for bringing women across state lines. It was called the Anti-White Slave Act. So they dusted off an old anti-black law in a RICO case to bring it against Diddy. What about the RICO case about all these supremacists that are in law enforcement right now? Or what about, we don't even know the Epstein list and everything like that. Diddy didn't make the blueprint for any of this stuff right now. So if we want to point that out and stay aware of that, that doesn't mean that we're defending Diddy as black men. We just have to be focused on the bigger picture, because anything if they do things to Diddy and change laws and do things against him, then that can happen against anyone else once he had that precedent. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
but you're saying because he's black though, right?
I'm
like
not. You make it sound like I'm
it's
justifying anything though. Nobody's justifying.
I'm not saying you're
anything he did.
justifying. I'm just saying the what you're saying, the underlying piece to it is we need to be analytical because they're doing this to a black man. No,
because you make it sound like we're defending Diddy. We're not defending Diddy. We're defending black men. So like you're tying it too much to Diddy. Like we don't want the laws and this precedent to be set to where if you're flying somebody overseas, they can take your label and then they can continue.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like is that the hill we want? So you're saying if you are. I'm talking about doing what he's alleged of. I'm not talking about reducing what he did to like what we say. Like I'm just talking about the actual charges. If the feds don't do this unless they know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like, God, what's his name? Irv somehow beat the case, right? Because they couldn't prove that Irv gave such and such money for illegal activity, so he was able to escape from that. Like he was able to separate Murder Inc. from what Supreme was doing. But in this particular case, right, if they present it where it's like button up, it's clearly organized, he paid for this, did this, facilitated this, did this, forced these people to go from one place to the other, coerced them, use his power to bribe them and blackmail and all these other things. If all of that is true, what are we talking about in terms of like they shouldn't like if these things are true, then it's true. No,
of course it's true. And again, if Diddy did all those things that he's alleged to have done, which first off, let him have his day in court. I think it's unethical for them to release evidence that we don't even know if that will be admissible in court, just to sway public opinion. This isn't the first time they've gone out of their way to embarrass him to where he gets the Negro treatment. And then if we want to can two things not be true at once? Diddy should be condemned. Diddy should be in jail. But if we just stop there and don't make sure everyone's held accountable, then that leaves us as black men as the target. And then that's an unjust system, especially when it's used against our richest. And the ownership is going to go away from Diddy to the hands of the dominant society. And that's the bigger picture from my perspective, not saying what Diddy did was right. Of course, what he did was wrong, allegedly.
Unjust system for sex trafficking is not what I'm trying to like.
Okay,
if you sex trafficking, you probably need to be treated a certain way. Like,
okay, bro. So 100 sex traffickers, 10 of them are black. All 10 go to jail. The other 90 go free, and we consistently go through that. Is that okay?
I'm not doing sex trafficking, brother. Like I'm not like I don't even think like that's the like. So you think that only black sex traffickers are getting in trouble?
For the most part, these people like look at Vince McMahon. Like we know, look at all these corporations. You know they do mess like this. They hire women. Look at Wolf of Wall Street. That type of stuff goes down in Wall Street all the time. And then, bro, all the people on the Epstein list. None of this stuff is right. But for us to be the only people that consistently go down for this, even with Bill Cosby, how they had to change a law and to open up the statute of limitations just to prosecute him right when he was trying to do something big. And then even look at Michael Jackson. He wasn't proven guilty of anything but public opinion. Same with O.J. Simpson. And then black people, they don't stand up for any of this. So it just makes it easy for us to be consistently victimized. Although, again, I'm not condoning sex trafficking.
I just say, how do we like victimize it? I know we kind of about to go and stuff, but it's just like I just don't see this as victimizing somebody, given the the type of accusation. Like I think it's pretty tough for me to get falsely accused of sex trafficking, bro. Like for me to get charged with sex trafficking, like a federal charge.
That's true for all crimes, because what we always talk about, over policing. The reason that black people are consistently but I understand. Like, I think we need to be
sex trafficking, though.
Bro, I think if you don't see it, you don't want to see it. Because it's difficult to have a conversation. But I think we have to be not to be condescending, like mature enough to say that sex trafficking is 1,000% wrong. It's also wrong for us to be disproportionately targeted for what everyone else is doing. And if we don't address that thing, we're not victimized because if we did it. But if the justice system holds us more accountable, gives us more time, puts us through the ringer and seeks it out in our community while turning a blind eye everywhere else, at the end of the day, that's a weapon against us, and we should be mindful of that. No?
I just don't know if that's I don't know what you say is
yes
true.
Or no, like should
yeah, what you say is true. What you say is true. Does it apply to the sex trafficking charges? Is I think a different question.
But I'm talking about the bigger picture though.
I don't think we're disproportionately charged for sex trafficking. I need to see some data there, bro. I didn't know that black folks was going through the ringer for sex trafficking. I honestly did not know this. I didn't know that we're disproportionately going under more than like. I don't even think that's our bag like that. Honestly, black folks, we ain't out here we got pimps. But even the pimps are smart enough to know to keep it in a certain jurisdiction. They're not shipping them from one thing to the next. Like they know the laws. They stick to pimping. They not like trying to. I don't know. I don't see I don't see this as a disproportionate black thing as it relates to these particular charges, sex trafficking.
Bro, I'm talking about who gets away with it. Like Hugh Hefner, all the crazy stories that happened there, and then we're not digging at them. Again, I said Vince McMahon about how they talk about what he's got going on, and then we talk about the whole corporations. Wolf on Wall Street saying that again. It's just like we don't, and even look at these massage parlors where we know the stuff that goes on over there, and they're actually trafficking people consistently, and that happens in all these major cities. So it's not like we disproportionately do any of these things. I'm saying they always turn a blind eye when everyone else does that, and we're just we're moral. It's incorrect for Diddy to do whatever he did, but at the end of the day, if you're okay with the focus being on you and everyone else turns a blind eye to them, if you're okay with that, then I guess that's the conversation. I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm overly analytical, but from the bigger picture, that's a problem, bro. And again, I never said what Diddy did was right. I know it was wrong, especially all the accusations, all that freak stuff. I don't feel sympathy for him, but anything that is used against him where he's treated unfairly, it can happen to, like, that precedent is what I'm concerned about.
So I'm sure y'all two can kind of go for a while in this. I love for Johnny, hop in for a quick second, and we'll wrap up with A Black kind of giving the last word on his fellow Howard alumnus.
Oh, I forgot that part.
He didn't graduate. Chill out.
Oh, he didn't. Okay, my bad.
Oh, we'll go say we got But I mean, I don't want to, like you say, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. But I do think what Trey is saying is correct as far as like we have to analyze this critical justice system to make sure it's actually justice. And in like you say, black people are always over policed. So this is just another way where we're over policing. And I think we're gonna have the conversation. We don't need to talk about like Diddy, because like if he did, he needs to go to jail, because he's like, on the other hand, he's hurting the black community also. If a lot of these allegations and stuff are true, he's maybe not the best person for us to have on our team anyway. So he can go do it, but we need to look at these systems and make sure that justice is being applied fairly across the board. I agree with that, but fuck Diddy, I got no love for him. But
seemed like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track. Man, come on, free Diddy. Free Diddy. Let's be real. He is good at on our side, creating businesses, creating jobs out here. Like, this nigga is not no supervillain. Like, people is freaks just like him. I be on Twitter. I know people is freaks. They like it. Everybody want to go to them parties. Like, and now it's like he doing ain't no sex trafficking. They're using this language and shit to defame him and make him more villainous. But he flying hoes out just like rich people do all the time. And now all of a sudden it's cross state lines, and if you're on a fucking plane, you cross the state lines. But like they using all this language to kind of just make him seem more villainous And like, I don't fuck with that. Man. Like, it's like they just don't want nobody. How many black men we can count on one hand that was as powerful as him? That's as rich as him in America, you know. So to just act like this is all because of his bad character, he nasty, he means, like, all right, yeah, but a lot of that we've known and we've loved. We love that predator shit, that aggressive shit, that talking to anybody, bringing out the best in people. Some people fail with him. Some people had their biggest moments of their life in their career with him. But people love that shit for years, and to like kind of see the narrative change, see the language being used, see this being during election season again, where they always use some black man to sacrifice in the media to distract attention, to always kind of make us the face of something. Where the fuck are the Epstein papers at and shit? Like, get this man out of jail unless somebody got some solid proof. Put this shit out. What are we waiting for? Like a trial and shit. Put the shit out if you got some real truth. If you got to have a trial, that means there's a chance that he can argue his innocence. But they want to break him. They want to break these black men that get to this level. Unless he's gonna be Jay-Z and Beyonce and shut the fuck up, you get to this billionaire status, Kanye, anybody, you out of here. Only Robert F. Smith is gonna be able to, because he's in this business realm. But you entertainers that have influence over the youth and the mass, and your message can really change and reverberate. You gonna do what we want, or we gonna break you. So he might not go. He might beat the case like Herb, but they're gonna break him. They're gonna break his finances. They're gonna seize money. Continue to try to embarrass him because, you know, the freak shit has been there. He's done something to piss somebody off, some power off, and they're bringing all his dark to light that everybody has. Like, everybody got some freak shit. It might not be as worse or manipulative or no crazy, but everybody got some freak shit that they brought to the light. It's like, damn, like, all right, D, like, all right, Trey, like, y'all do your thing, but we can't act like this gonna be happening to like black men. Like, it is a black man thing. It is a rich, powerful black man thing. Like, it is him getting older and surviving and living through the Biggies and the Pox and the people from that era. And it's like I said, unless you're quiet, Dr. Dre, like, are certain people, you good. But if you know, Diddy was out here, he brother love, he talking, and he suing, and he talking black power, and he talking black ownership. And it's like, all right, bring all this dark shit out. You know, we gonna pay some people off like he used to do. Everybody for sale out here. So why are we thinking everybody's so genuine? Like, oh, I finally have the strength to tell what Diddy did to me. He grabbed my nuts too. Like,
hey, but I'm saying, but we've seen Diddy in action. Like, remember making a band? He sent them people to get that cheesecake, and then he wasn't even there when he came back. We saw the.
But that's not a crime.
We loved it.
It's a show of character though. Like,
but it's not a crime, bro.
There's a pattern. So
he's a dick. I mean, he's a jerk, bro. We know that. But is he
I mean,
Al Capone?
I don't want the man to go down unjustly. Of course not. Like, but I think based on what we know about the culture, that these allegations aren't surprising. Like, we've heard the stories and how he worked back. So I mean, if he did it, he did it. If like, but again, like I say, I don't want to pile on, and I do think all them other ones should go to jail just as much too. Like, I ain't trying to, excuse none of this, but it's hard for me to like say free the guy when I know he probably did a lot of that shit. Like, I saw the video when he did that, Cassie. Like,
y'all think he gonna snitch? Like, we're gonna see a lot come out of that video. A lot of other people get implicated.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared that Diddy gonna die in jail. Like, every single other person that's ever had evidence of rich and powerful people doing things that they don't want in the public eye.
See, they took all the evidence.
That's what I'm scared of.
On the raid. So I mean, like, low key, whatever evidence he probably had to blackmail whoever, that's been handled on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
He got a lot of money, bro. He got a lot of houses.
This is. I do agree that,
but he can still talk though. He can
still talk, but like I said, I do agree that he pissed somebody off because he's been getting away with this like publicly for years. Like, let's like same thing with Cosby though. It's like, it took a while. It took that Hannibal Buress joke to kind of go viral for people to kind of acknowledge something that everybody was talking about Cosby for years, but we just didn't know it publicly. But behind the scenes, it was like well-known conversation between comedians about Cosby. but Hannibal Buress makes a joke, and then it starts to get some traction. Same thing with Diddy, bro. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's what.
No,
like,
I know. I get what you're saying, but there's a woker perspective on what happened. Like, because he was trying to buy a record company then,
NBC,
and then Hannibal Buress, some nobody comedian.
He's not nobody.
I mean, but he wasn't. He was compared to before and after. Before he made that joke, he was way less popular than after.
But he was on Saturday Night. But he was like a mainstream Saturday Night Live comedian. He wasn't like a nobody, bro.
Whack. Nobody really watches Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Do any of y'all watch Saturday Night Live every week?
No, I don't personally.
Not every week, but what I'm saying, if you're a comedian and you make it to that platform, you're not a just nobody comedian. I'm just saying respectfully, it's Saturday Night Live. Like
So, fellas, I just wanted to give y'all a quick update on the poll. The poll said Diddy did it. I don't know.
Hold up.
I don't know if they poll in Oklahoma, so I can't tell you. But the To Be Fair show poll, unfortunately, it said that he did it.
Cat Williams said in the interview, like, you can't go to those parties. Like before all this stuff, before the Cassie lawsuit is what really like, it was Cassie and the other dude, some producer that he didn't pay off of the Love album. He filed a lawsuit documenting that he was getting molested, couldn't leave. Carisha's sister was trying to force him to do some shit in the bathroom.
Man, you're a grown man, bro. You can't coerce a grown man, bro. Or not to do some gay stuff, man. Come on.
I couldn't stop it.
Come on, G.
Yo, I'm just saying, yo. I think it's funny. I do think it's funny, but it's like,
G, can they coerce you?
Why do men have to be sexually abused? Like why can't
a grown man? Can Diddy coerce you to do anything that you wouldn't? You know what I mean? As a grown man, are you coercible?
Trey, no. But that does not mean that other people aren't like that. Like me, just because I wouldn't do it, don't mean that other niggas won't. Like, I'm just saying, like, look, man, look, 1, 2. I'm also not over here trying to make it in the industry either, and trying to like beholden, and I'm on this project and so forth. Like, look, I don't know what is going on and what was alleged, but I think those documents and what he was put in the civil suit, when you put that on paper, that this is what you're suing for, and these are the things that was happening, Cassie and him, and then he paid. I think when he paid Cassie, it made him guilty. Honestly, that he should have never paid.
That's not how it works.
He should have never paid.
Why do you think everybody's so quiet? My bad. Why do you think everybody in Hollywood is so like? Hollywood's oddly quiet for everyone to have been at those parties if he really did a lot of that stuff, you know?
Well, that's why they are quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that answers itself. All right, so fellas, I guess this probably lends itself for time for segue into the actual question.